Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update on the current situation in Spain. Day 166 of the current situation, and today it's all about the tracking app that the government is slowly rolling out across Spain in order to help get the health situation in the country under control. Firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments, lots of debate happening there as usual. Thanks to people that supported the channel through a small donation. You can see your names here. Thanks to people that bought merchandise, and a big thanks to my patrons on Patreon for your support as always. Now, let's get into some of the news that has caught my attention. And as I said, it's all about the tracking app that's being rolled out slowly across the country. And the Prime Minister, Mr. Sanchez, has called on all citizens to download the tracking app Radar COVID. With cases of the virus continuing to rise, Pedro Sanchez says that the device must be adopted across Spain, highlighting that it could reduce the impact of the pandemic by 30%. The Prime Minister went on to say that technology can also save lives if it's employed to face a challenge like the one we have before us. That's why we have promoted the Radar COVID app, Sanchez said at a press conference. The Socialist Party leader confirmed that the app has already been implemented in the regions of Andalusia, Cantabria, Extremadura, Castilla y León, and the Canary and Balearic Islands, and said it urgently needed to be adopted across the rest of the country. The call comes as Spain continues to see a sharp spike in COVID-19 infections, with more than 7,000 reported on Tuesday. Now we'll just have a quick look at a map of where this app is now available. It's a multi-platform app and can be downloaded and put into use in these autonomous communities, the ones here in purple. And the autonomous communities in grey are where the app is not yet active. Now, this new tracking app is no doubt going to be controversial. There's going to be some people that refuse to install the app, some people that don't want to have it in their phones, some people that would think that this is another move towards a dystopian state. So let's take a look at how the app works. We can see here that the Ministry of Health guarantees the privacy of all users who download the app in compliance with all the recommendations made by the European Commission in this regard. In this way, no user can be identified or located because there is no data registered, and because the entire process takes place on their phone without going to any server. No personal data, name, address, age, telephone, email, etc., or any geolocation or GPS data is collected. Both the use of the app and the communication of a possible contagion will always be voluntary. The app uses the Bluetooth connection of the mobile phone, through which anonymous identifiers of other phones that change periodically are emitted and observed. When two terminals have been closed for 15 minutes or more, 2 meters or less apart, both keep the anonymous identifier issued by the other. So there you go, the Prime Minister in Spain urging people to download the app, and the Ministry of Health guaranteeing the privacy of people that use the app. So if you are in one of these autonomous communities where the app is available, have you downloaded and used it yet? Let us know in the comment section. Now, as we saw, it's not available in all of the autonomous communities at the moment, and that could cause a problem. And the government fears that Radar COVID will not reach all of Spain for the return to school, and the infections will multiply. The government asked the autonomous communities to accelerate their implementation, as some have not yet begun their technical integration. So the government there wanting the rest of the autonomous communities to get this app out and available to the public as soon as possible. Now, we mentioned the other day that there's going to be a teachers' strike in some autonomous communities at the beginning of the school year, and the student unions yesterday came out and announced that they will also call a strike against the minister, Isabel Cela, and urged the Podemos ministers to support the strike for consistency. They have made an express appeal to Pablo Iglesias so that he does not tolerate the inaction and laziness of the government of which he is part. So the beginning of the school year is going to be a rocky road in Spain this year. Now let's have a look at the health situation in Spain. We'll go to the map and graph provided by El Confidencial newspaper, and we can see here the data for the last 7 days. Infections are down 2.76%, hospitalizations are up 7.9%, and deaths are up 11.2% on the last data that was published. And if we have a look at the situation of accumulated cases in the last 14 days per 100,000 inhabitants, we can see that Madrid is currently sitting at 386.72 cases. Murcia has now gone over the 100,000 case barrier, and they sit at 105.16 cases. And the Canary Islands are also up to 112.1 cases per 100,000 inhabitants in the last 14 days. So that's where the health situation is at in Spain at the moment. As I mentioned yesterday, Pedro Sanchez came out and addressed the public and the press about the current situation in Spain. He also gave each autonomous community the opportunity to ask for a state of alarm if necessary. However, we can see here that the autonomous communities have discarded Sanchez's offer on the state of the alarm and are marking a distance between themselves and the central government. The autonomous community of Madrid would lean towards mobility restrictions instead of a state of alarm, and the chief health officer in Madrid, Mr. Ruiz Escudero, said that the request for a state of alarm would only occur in an extreme situation. So there we go, neither Madrid nor the rest of the autonomous communities planning to impose a state of alarm in their particular areas just yet. And as we saw in Madrid, it would need to be an extreme situation. Now, Mr. Sanchez also came out the other day and offered the services of the military to the autonomous communities in order to help with the tracking and tracing of coronavirus cases, and Murcia has become the first community to request the reinforcement of the military in tracking tasks. The region of Murcia has asked the government of Spain this Thursday for the collaboration of 60 of the 2,000 military trackers who have been made available to the autonomies to reinforce the monitoring of active cases of COVID-19. The Murcian government thus becomes the first to request this reinforcement offered by Pedro Sanchez in his appearance on Tuesday. And another autonomous community, Galicia, has also asked for more information about the offer. For its part, the Xunta of Galicia has sent a letter to the Ministry of Defence to show its interest and request more information about the offer. So Murcia, they're deciding to take the government up on its offer because, as we have seen, tracking and tracing has been one of the biggest problems in Spain at the moment and one of the most difficult things for the autonomous communities to implement. So we'll see if the military can make a difference, and hopefully places like Murcia or Madrid won't have to go into a state of alarm phase. Now let's have a look at some of the comments from the last video. First one here from Tony: if Spain doesn't have tourism, it's going to be in shit street. Where can we get the revenue of 15 billion each year? Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm spending a few days in Alicante this week and it's like a ghost town. My favourite bar has been closed and many more as well. Regards, Tony. Yeah, Tony, thanks for the comment. And you're right, where is the money going to come from? All of that money that has been lost because of the poor tourist season this year, all of the government revenues that they would have got through taxes, all of those foreign tourists that would have spent their money in Spain this year, that's all gone, obviously. And of course, it's going to leave the government with a huge hole in its budget. And as we have seen, there is money coming from the European Union, but I'm sure we'll see the effects of the losses this year for many, many years to come. One here from Spanish Jose: Stuart, you're completely biased. It's incredible how most foreigners in Spain are progressive. You don't know about Spain and the criminal history of the Socialist Party, so get informed. The Socialists just want to ruin Spain as they've always done so. Yeah, Spanish Jose, thanks for the comment, and good to see that you put Spanish before your name, because we wouldn't want to get you mixed up with Scottish Jose, for example. And to be honest, I don't think I'm biased. I try to give a fairly impartial view of politics. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know that I go hard on the government in general. Doesn't really matter whether it's the PP or the Socialist Party, or whether it's one of these new parties like Vox or Podemos. And I know about the history of the Socialist Party. I know that they had a huge number of corruption cases back in the 1980s and 90s with the famous Felipe González and all of his ministers. I'm aware of that, and then I saw the subsequent corruption of the Aznar government as well, which was obviously on the opposite side of the political spectrum. And that's why I've come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter whether you're left, right, or in the centre. If you are in power in Spain, you're most likely going to end up one day with corruption charges. That's the system, that's how it works. There's a lack of transparency. We can see what's happening with the former king at the moment. So in my opinion, the problem is with the system, and everybody just takes what they can get. One here from Terry: lockdown Madrid, but they won't, as that's where the money and the power is. Yeah, Terry, thanks for the comment, and you're right, that's where the power is in Spain. The power is in the centre of the country. The power is in Madrid, although there has been a push in recent times to put power into the autonomous community. But you can see that Madrid is the most powerful city in Spain, the richest city in Spain. And of course, it is where all of the government institutions are and the majority of the big companies in Spain. Catalonia is also a rich area. The Basque Country is also a rich area as well. But Madrid, very, very powerful. Will they lock it down? Well, it depends on the health situation, of course. So we'll see. One here from Debbie: hey Stu, just read on the International Living Abroad Index that rated for retirees that Spain is number 8, but number 1 was Portugal. Very interesting. Yeah, Debbie, thanks for the comment. Not surprised to see both of those countries in the top 10. Spain obviously seems to have slipped down the rankings a little bit, and Portugal coming out at number 1. And Portugal has become the flavour of the month in recent years, become a very popular country for retirees. Lots of people nowadays deciding that Portugal is a country where they would like to spend their retirement. And who can blame them? It's a country that has a lot of pros, in my opinion. And the number 1 pro, compared to some of the other countries on that list, is the security. Portugal is a very, very secure country if you compare it to some of the other countries on that list. One here from Chris: as you report, cases are up, hospitalizations and deaths are down. This is happening in most countries of the world. The pandemic is over, it's now a case-demic, and Spain are destroying their economy, especially the tourist economy, through stupidity. Yeah, Chris, thanks for the comment. You make a couple of interesting points. I saw a video the other day about the case-demic situation, and he does put forward quite a convincing argument. So I recommend people to check that video out for themselves. But unfortunately, everything's not black and white, and we can see in Spain at the moment that obviously the increase in case numbers is causing a little bit of panic amongst the government. And of course, they are talking about bringing in more serious measures if the situation doesn't improve. And you're right, the economy's been destroyed, and it's probably going to be destroyed further, but that's the way the government is reacting. So case-demic, pandemic, politicians in Spain are still treating this as a serious problem. One here from Gary: internet. I'm in the Costa Blanca area of Spain, and I now have 1,000 megas fiber optic with Telfi and 1,000 free minutes of landline calls a month to the UK for approximately €47 a month. Faster than Usain Bolt driving a Ferrari. And another one here from Leo: thanks for the update, Stuart. Can I ask, what is your internet provider and how much do you pay for such a fast internet connection? Cheers. Yeah, thanks for the comments there, both Gary and Leo. And Leo, I'll answer that question. You saw that Gary gets quite a good deal for €47 a month. I think he said 1,000 megas download and probably upload as well, which is quite a fast connection, plus free landline calls to the UK. My particular deal is 600 upload, 600 download. I also get television included in that package. And I also get mobile phone calls for free in Spain, as well as unlimited mobile data. And for that, I pay €45.90 a month with Vodafone. And to be honest, I'm quite happy with the service. One here from Dan Spain: thanks, Stuart. Have been a loyal follower of the channel for about 2 years. The daily updates have been fantastic throughout the pandemic. However, I'm looking forward to you returning to your more fun travelogue style videos about Spain when this is all over. I have been living in Spain with my Spanish wife and her family since December, and your channel has been an invaluable source of factual and well-balanced information for us both. Muchas gracias. Yeah, Dan, thanks for the comment and glad you like the channel, and thanks for the part about the well-balanced commentary. Not everybody would agree with you there, as we saw before with Spanish Jose. And I'm also looking forward one day to getting out on the road and doing some more travel type videos. But unfortunately, it's not easy at the moment because of the fact that you have to wear a mask everywhere you go nowadays in Spain, and I don't really want to be traveling around having to wear a mask in those hot conditions, walking around the streets with a camera because it can get quite hot, and of course with the mask on, a little bit uncomfortable. And also I don't see mask wearing going away anytime soon, especially during the winter months, but when it starts to get a bit cooler, I might hit the road again and travel to a few interesting places. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. See you in the next one. Hasta luego.